This is Eric Saunders, and I am taking a quick shot here to do the second day video. May be able to do 2 or 3 of them today, hopefully. This particular one was pretty easy, and so we're just going to work through it real quick. This was a Saturday practice. We had a 8 o'clock go time on this. So we warmed up with a dynamic, our 3-0 and our 3D, which is our stance and starts. And throw the ball down, balanced offensive stances on cadence, throw the ball down on defense, and do the ball get-offs as a team. I think at this day we usually start having linebackers, and our kids already know to do it, but linebackers, safeties, and cornerbacks and all that, anybody standing up takes a 2D, 2-point defensive stance, takes their stance during dynamic warm-ups. That way they can stance their starts, flankers and running backs and whatnot in the offensive stance and starts. They take their offensive stance as well. They pretty much know who they are on our team by now. 8-10, go to tackling. We do the 1 knee and then we do the 3D. So the 1 knee we discussed yesterday, players down on 1 knee, good form, good rip, good explosion, up and through the bag. 3D, make sure they fire out low. A few techniques there, putting rope over their heads or whatever, but basically just got a few tackles in. Ground was wet, like to get it dried up. We moved to the beat block drill. Beat block drill is something that I do on a regular basis, and there is a video of it here. Has been viewed 92,000 times, so I guess it is well received. But basically that'll show you all the details of that. The gist of it is you have 4 players with hand shields sitting in front of the 4 lines of would-be tacklers, 4 coaches behind them with the bags, and just work your rip moves, work your bull rush, have the guys just good technique. Basically, you can throw the ball down there and BGO it as well, and get the guys tackling the bags, and but also shedding a block at the same time. So good tackling drill, do it a lot. The next drill we do is called a linebacker pop drill. And it is something that is used at a higher level, and I'm going to actually go look for that. So this should hopefully work. Let me just push this button, go here, and go here, and we're going to go to the 3-man butt. So if you watch this particular drill, you're going to see a linebacker drill, and what they do is pop, pop, pop. So those are pops in my vocabulary. And so then we are going to do let's see if I can get this right, 3-man butt, no, sorry, went to the wrong one. Hit and shed, cut, stick tackle, this might be it. So you can also go, he's picking them up, we're going to stop that, and we're going to just put a fork in it. So on the popping, that popping bit, that's what you were really looking to see. And we're going to come right over here, and this is the pop hit drill. So we have 4 lines of players. We have 2 players with hand shields right here. So these are going to be the guys that are getting popped. These are coaches with dummies right here. And so if you do a quick count, we've got whatever 20-something kids on the team. If you have 5 kids in each line and 2 kids holding the bags, you have occupied 24 players pretty quickly, and now you've got 4 coaches holding the tackle dummies. So on whistle, the red comes in, pop, pop, tackle. That coach is now picking up his bag. As soon as this guy clears the second hand shield, you blow the whistle again. Now this guy goes pop, pop, tackle. As soon as he clears this one, pop, pop, tackle. And it moves very, very quickly. It is one of the faster tackling drills that you're going to get into. So once the line cycles through, have these players that were holding the hand shields get in the front of the line, and that way they can take their rep. So I usually let them rep through 2 sets, so that means we've changed a hand shield 2 sets. This goes really fast. I mean, if you do this right, you're repping through the line in give or take 30 seconds. I mean, it's really awesome how quickly. And the coaches, of course, have a half a second to pick up their bag, so nobody's ever really standing around. So pretty good way to keep them efficient. One other note and a coaching point that we like to use is we tell the players basically to draw a line right there to just split the shield in half. And we say on that second on this second pop, don't pop him and pop off so much as pop this guy, but then go through the outside half. Take that outside half of that defender just like that. We like them to go through that guy. If they were pursuing to a ball carrier, so in youth football they get blocked, it'd be great if they get blocked on the downfield. The second guy, if they're heading upfield, we want to just take that outside shoulder and I say cut it off. Cut this, I take my hand and I say cut this blocker in half and take half of them with you to the tackle. So that's a coaching point that we do on that. It works really good. It's a really good drill. Get through a lot of reps really quickly. So that is the pop drill for us. Teaches a 2D linebacker stance. They step into the blocker and engage. They shuttle. They step up. They rip to tackle. Very good stuff. From there, we finished up our tackling. This is only our second practice, so we're still not doing independence as much as we might do a little bit later in the season when we're scouting. But we do go to an offensive breakout. The line went and reinforced on the carpets. Carpet is on the internet, on the YouTube, if you want to watch that. The running backs then came in and they worked on their ball exchange. And I actually think we didn't do ball exchange. I actually think we did mesh right there. And so what we had the guys do is just practice. We were having a coach Simo snap to the quarterback shotgun. And we were teaching the quarterbacks to mesh properly to get the ball back, ride the running back down. We'd let the running back have it on every time. We talked to the running backs about not ripping the ball out of the quarterback until they clear the quarterback. And so we're having to work some option mechanics that we've never had to work before. So worked our option mechanics. We then came in and actually ran the option. We ran the mesh. Basically, we had a wishbone set. Looks like this. So we ran our two back on the mesh. Of course, we didn't give him the ball. We keep it, and then we option the defensive end. We had a coach at defensive end, and for the first several reps, he'd just come down and force the quarterback and then grab him by the shoulders just to let him know that he will be getting hit. The four back, we talked about our relationship on that and how he needs to stay back. And that was really our first practice for really getting into the option deeply. So there was a lot of mechanics to be covered there. So that was our offensive breakout. We went from there to install the play. So we brought the lineman over. We held up the card. And we revisited the IZR, which we had done the day before or 2 days before. And then we ran the 48 triple option. Explained the concept. Talked about the defensive end. And we ran verse. We had offensive run 1, run verse defensive 2. And then we flip-flopped. So we did our play install. We then switched over after we did play install to defensive overview. It came at 9:30, and we did our BGO read. And actually, real quick on the BGO read, I have had a few guys ask me about the BGOs and what they are, and specifically what they are get-offs. And so they're pretty simple stuff. You're going to see a coach has got the ball on a stick, which is pretty slick deal. I don't have that. I have to bend over. But everybody's getting their hands off the ground quick. Great stance, hands off the ground and punch. This never goes out of style, so they do this all the time. They'll progress usually and change it up. So they're just coming out bull rush there, no hands. So there'd be a gap, swim, rip, all your lineman techniques, but they do with the ball, so the guys get used to not jumping off sides. So really easy stuff. If you've never seen a BGO, that's a BGO. Ball get off, and it's a daily deal for a defensive lineman. It's an independent thing. So we went to BGO read after that for our defensive overview. We aligned our front 8. We're running a 4-man line and a 4-man backer crew. So I guess we were running 4 and 6. I don't have this little presentation set up like that, but that's okay. The concept is the same. So it always boils down to alignment assignment technique. So on defense, we took all the players, we throw them on defense. We had set 1 and set 2. Set 2 is on the sidelines, sitting here waiting. Set 1 is in. There are no linemen here. We may have set down cones. We may have set down hand shields to represent linemen, but there wasn't. I think I had one of my tailbacks with me, and then I had coaches at fullback and wingback, and I played quarterback. But basically, we take our base defense, and this base defense is a 5-3, which we also run. So we got a base defense, and we run dive, power, sweep, reverse, pass, and no play at it. And specifically, we just align both sets. So we align the set. We talk about their alignments, what their responsibilities are. We discuss calling the strong side. Identify where the blockers are here. What's the strong side? Call the offensive formation. Well, this is a wing, pretty straight up. Or I or wing, or whatever you want to call it. Doesn't matter what you call it, as long as the kids know what to do. Call motions. If this guy is going in motion, what changes? Do we have anybody move? Do your linebackers move? You don't want that to happen in a game, and you've never talked about, if your offense doesn't motion and the other team's offense does motion, well, you're going to be calling a timeout, and your kids will be upset. The one thing about defense is you want your defense to not be thinking. You want your defense to be once they get it in their mind what they're doing, then they should be attacking. The problem with youth, it's so hard to find a youth linebacker because youth linebackers don't step up. Oops, that's not what I want to do, but you get the point. They don't step up. They sit there flat-footed reading while this guy's making steps towards the line of scrimmage, and that's because they're confused. Almost always, if a kid is confused, he does no physical action. So alignment assignment technique get it in their brain, get it in there to where they know it like the back of their hand, what they're going to do. Telling them if they don't know what to do to just hit somebody is just ridiculous. If they don't know what to do, they won't hit anybody. They won't do anything. So, you can't just scrimmage. You got to teach. You got to teach their alignment, their assignment, their technique. So go base. This is our base 5-3. Talk about the motion. Explain play side. The quarterback's going to open. Here comes the fullback this way. Here comes the tailback this way. That is play side. Middle linebacker must step up. Strong side linebacker, step to the C. Weak side linebacker is reading because it may be a reverse. So he's got to hang on for a second. So discuss play side with your team and talk about their responsibilities. Talk about your gaps. What are you doing with your nose? Is he play side? Is he back side? What are you doing with your tackles? Are you bumping? Are you crunching? Are you on box for your defensive end? What is your deal? Talk to your cornerbacks. What's their read? We're reading the quarterback through the tight end. In youth football, the most common pass is just the tight end, either seam or out. It's a no-brainer. It's going to happen. So we just tell the cornerback, you can see the tight end on your way to the quarterback. So watch them. If you see the guy release, and our guys are good, man. They're never going to let that kid catch a pass, ever. So, and then the opposite defensive end. Hey, you're watching the quarterback, but your line of sight allows you to also see the opposite side wingback. So since it does, you're watching him, but keep an eye on this kid in case he's coming back around. This is your guy, as well as bootleg. So we are covering the backside and the play side properly. This guy's got to come up and be ready to fight. He needs to know. This kid needs to know that he's going to get double teamed. This kid needs to tell him, you're getting to, hey, watch out, watch out. This is when you start installing all of these alignment, assignment, technique kinds of things. Then work the technique. Teach this kid how to keep this guy off of him. Teach him how to fight to the outside shoulder. Teach these guys how to rip. Teach these guys how to step up. Teach these guys how to fence and scrape. Those are the kinds of things where you can get in your really good coaching points without having guys beating the crap out of each other. It's a good opportunity. It's a good environment for kids to learn. And then, so we run the play. As soon as we're done with the play, these 5 guys, they're going to bail. Off the field they go. These 5 guys, they all come in and go run to their spot and take their stance on the ball. These, 5, 6, 7, 8 guys, whatever your scheme is, they run in. All the backs run out. And so now everybody's getting used to running on and finding their alignment based on the ball and the offense. They all have to start over every time. They can't just, not go anywhere. So they got to move. So, and then of course, everybody knows 11 men to the ball, but you may know it. And then proper pursuit angles. So if the ball goes toss here, I don't want to see this guy running through the backfield and then chasing him all the way around. He'd come across, he'd be sure, and then he'd start back on the proper angle. So good opportunity to talk about pursuit angles, and then of course you could finish with 11 men on the ball, which amazingly so many coaches just allow 2 guys to get to the ball and all the other guys just walking around picking their nose. So good opportunity to get 11 men to the ball. So that is alignment, assignment, technique, and hopefully you found that beneficial. it says we spent 15 minutes on that, but we didn't do player passing this day because we already had kind of figured that out. I think a couple of our guys were missing in action, and I decided it wasn't worth it. So we went 20 to 25 minutes there. We went to conditioning for 10 minutes, and we did linemen and sprinters. We did linemen and backs at 30 and 40. So just based on what we talked about yesterday with the chase drill, if this is a lineman and this is a running back, and then this is the finish line up here, this is 30 yards for him, and this was 40 yards for him, so he's chasing the lineman down the line and trying to make it happen. And that was our Saturday practice. Everybody was wheezing, and kids were falling on the ground when we were done. So because of the nature of the conditioning and even this BGO, they were really humping on this thing. If you think about running on and off the field and chasing 11 men of the ball, they basically did 30 minutes of sprints there while we were talking. So a lot of running, worked out very well. Hope you found this bit informative and useful. We'll be back with 3 here in a bit.